Hello everybody and welcome to Cinema Savvy. This is myself, George. Firstly, Happy New Year. Secondly, I hope you had a great Christmas. And thirdly, it is 2023 and we have a brand new review. This video is going up at 8 in the morning. I will be asleep. If you can't tell by me in the rocky dressing gown and the pyjamas, I'm recording this at 1:30 in the morning on New Year's Day. And I have just binged the new series Kaleidoscope, which is streaming, which I'm reviewing. Spoiler-free review for anyone that is interested in watching this series. And it's going to be released on Netflix, and it stars Giancarlo Esposito with Eric Garcia as the showrunner. And I have some notes because I actually have to talk about something that I need to remember, and it's just titles of colours, which I'll get into shortly. But if you're watching this in the future, if you've already seen it, please do comment below with your thoughts on Kaleidoscope, what you thought of the miniseries, what your thoughts are on the actors, the concept, the ideas, because I'm going to be talking about the narrative structure as a big talking point of this review, because I think it's very important and it is the selling point for the show. And I have a lot of concerns actually about this, the advertising and marketing for this series. But before I get into that sort of stuff, I'm going to quickly run over the socials. So if you're new to the channel, you're discovering us, it's a brand new year, new me, new you, all that sort of nonsense. Thank you for joining us, for taking time out to have a look at this. And you can subscribe to us to find out about new videos, reviews, TV reviews, discussions, films, all that sort of stuff. Twitter and Instagram at cinema_savvy, Facebook and letterboxd.com/cinemasavvy. I'm going to link to Redbubble where you can pick up some merch. But I'm not going to go too far into all that because it is 1:30 in the morning. I've got to get this review sorted. I'm going to get it edited. I'm going to get it for 8 in the morning so I can have a lovely sleep. And if you are watching it before the time I wake up, then fair play to you. And maybe you're watching this series by the time I wake up, because I do think this will be one that Netflix do push. This is going to be one that I think they're going to go for that social dynamic with. And the reason for that is literally the concept. It is a story of a bank heist, but it's told in a non-linear pattern. So, Netflix has this habit, and it happened previously, where not these shows get popular, but you can get a show with a hook. If you remember Black Mirror Bandersnatch, when it was like a game, you had to pick the scenarios, it was interactive and people were wild, people were talking about their endings, how it came to it, all that sort of stuff. I remember another Christmas we had Bird Box, where everyone was in on the, you know, it's the one where no one can say you can't see and stuff like that. And Netflix has this habit by creating incredible marketing based off word of mouth, and sometimes it's how you see the episodes and how you view these things that create that experience. And I think this is a show they're trying to push this towards, because you are, quote, assigned a viewing order of this series when you log on to Netflix. And if you are going to do that, I'm going to go over the details of how I've watched it, because I think this is something they can't actually do based off the linear story pattern. Now I'm keeping this spoiler free. Every episode's title is a colour, and then that colour also has like a, you know, 3 weeks before, 3 days before, I don't know, 6 months after, 3 years after. But that, I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say the viewing order in which I was assigned to the show. And for everyone curious who might not know this, the finale is episode White. That is the heist itself. And the build-up is your narrative experience leading up to finding out about the heist. So here we go. So the viewing order in which I have seen this series is yellow, green, orange, violet, blue, red, pink, white. So what I want anyone to do, and I would really appreciate comments on this, even if you're not going to watch this show, please log on to your Netflix if you have it. Let me know what order it's telling you to watch them, because I think this is utter nonsense. I don't think they're assigning it randomly. The show follows a linear story pattern still. You cannot switch some of these episodes around. And I think what I'm frustrated about off of viewing is the order in which I was assigned it is the exact same order of how it was sent to me by Netflix on an email. So I'm not going to go into the sort of PR side of things, but sometimes you'll get sent a letter and it will say, you know, here's details, please don't speak about this. But for this In Touch, it listed all the episode titles. But what I was emailed, and it's a generic email that's sent to anyone who'd have had a press copy of this, my generic email was exactly the same as it appeared on my Netflix account. Which is A, not a coincidence, everyone's had it that way, or B, I was sent an email after they put it on my account, which I think would be a lot of effort. If they have, fair play to them, and this, I'm going to come across ridiculous. And this is where I have issues with the series, is that with an incredible selling point of you can watch this in a non-linear pattern. I love stuff like that. Obviously a lot of people will think to Pulp Fiction. You know, it's a story broken up over different story segments. You've got Memento, the film, that's backwards. Of course, you've got Tenet, which is backwards, forwards, everything. I'm not just going to list Christopher Nolan films, but non-linear storytelling is one of my favourite story mechanisms, and that was the selling point for me to watch this show. The selling point was I want to see what has happened, what's built up to this heist. I want to know the background, but I'm curious about how I'm going to be told the background. Am I going to begin at the beginning? Am I going to start at the end? I was so excited to come into that, and I just feel deflated after watching it. I feel like I've watched it in the same order that everyone's going to have to, and I don't think the experience matched what it could have been. Because a bank heist itself, the heist genre is a very underrated genre. When you get great heists, you get amazing stuff, and they're always incredible to watch, whether it's by new characters, by the tension, and a lot of that felt missing in this show. And I think one of the actual key criticisms I have is that the actual finale is before you watch the episode Whites, which it shouldn't be, because we know the ending of everything before we get to the heist. Now, by the time you've watched this and gotten to the heist, you don't care because the show is finished. So I think they've immediately lost out there. And what I'm going to try and do this recommendation with this review, I'm going to hand over to you all, and I'm going to recommend you a way to watch this. So you might be wondering, why is he telling us to watch this series if he's not sure on it himself? I'm hoping that you get a better experience than I do, and I'd be really curious to see what other people get if they are assigned a different order to what I mentioned previously. But the order in which I'm going to suggest for you all to watch the show, and maybe you want to watch this and come back and finish this in a couple of days, I don't know. But this is how I would suggest watching the show. So you want to begin with episode red, followed by yellow, followed by orange, followed by green, followed by violet, followed by blue, followed by white, followed by pink. A very different viewing order, and I think that is going to be the best viewing order for anyone to watch this series with, because there's some really good stuff in the show. Giancarlo Esposito is incredible in everything he's in. He has just this immaculate presence in every show he's ever been in, and so often he's obviously playing an antagonist, a villain. And of course these guys are doing a bank heist, so he's naturally someone you'd come to. But it's so incredible that he isn't the villain as such, he's the protagonist for this series. We follow him, we follow his life, his career trajectory that's put him into this path. And he's by a country mile the best thing in this. I'm invested in him. I'm not necessarily invested in the supporting actors, and that's where I struggled with the writing of the series. And I've not seen any of the shows Eric Garcia has done before. I know that there's been a few dramas, a few of the films as well, but I was completely new to this, and for any football fans know it's not Eric Garcia, the footballer. But I was sort of not disappointed, but I like, because I liked everything of the protagonist, I'm fine in that respect. I'm fine with his story arc. I don't think the way the story arc is presented works for me. I genuinely feel that my experience has been quite poor due to the order it was assigned to me. As I said, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everyone's going to have a different code assigned to them when it's released properly. I'm going to go on my family's profiles, find out what viewing order they've been assigned, because it's just something that I'm just going to get aggravated about, which I shouldn't. Because there is some good stuff in the show. It's got a great villain, it's got a great concept, it's got a great idea, but I think my experience has unfortunately been marred. And that's where the recommendation comes in. I can't recommend the show on the logic of how I've seen it, but I can recommend you the show in the order in which I listed. I think that's the best way to order it. I think this selling point of it being non-linear is true to a point, but it is not essential. And for me, you know, trying to get screeners, trying to watch it in advance, watch it early, I was so excited for this. It could be an insane adventure. Part of me thought, scrap the order they've given me, I'll do it my own way. But to me, it's not possible. The episode I was assigned to begin with feels like it is going to be the opening episode. And I think that's where I'm lost. It's still introducing people, and the marketing for this just isn't advertising what this product is. Now, someone's going to comment and say, it's fine, I've seen another order, that's great, thank you. But for me, that's how I felt, and it's sort of marred over my first experience of a TV show for 2023. And it feels weird saying 2023. So I'm going to round out off this. As I said, if you're a fan of Giancarlo Esposito, probably you're going to want to watch this show. You're going to watch it in a good order. If you like heist stuff, if you like something new, something different, maybe go for this. But as I said, the key is getting the order of viewing this right. And unfortunately, I don't think the random assigned order is something that can logistically work for Netflix. I don't know how they can suggest the viewing orders. To me, it's programmed. People might get random programmed things, but there is a set sequence that you cannot watch some episodes after the others. And for me, having the aftermath of the heist, you know, there's 2 episodes that are set as an aftermath. One of them can be watched before the heist, but not the second one, unfortunately not. So that's going to go right at the end. Do not follow what they've told you to do. Watch it the way I've watched it, and I hope it works better for you. And I'm going to use this to round out this review, as it's very late in the morning, early in the morning, I guess I could say. It's New Year, I want to get some sleep. And I hope you enjoy this video. It's a weird one to start the year with, so I'm going to kind of tee up another video coming tomorrow. The big annual live stream me and Tate always do. We'll be announcing some new shows we're doing across the year. We've got the James Cameron retrospective starting on Wednesday. We've recorded Piranha 2, that's fully edited, in the can, ready to go up on the channel. We've got some new releases. We've got The Fablemans this month. We've got Till. We've got, oh God, Empire of Light's already been done last year. We've got a few things. It's Oscar season. Tar's out in the UK. We're catching up to everything America's had prior, so we're heading into Oscar season. There's a lot of Oscar films. There's a lot of blockbusters coming out this year, so join us in our 2023 preview, where we'll delve into a lot more of that. And as I said at the beginning of the episode, if you want to find out more about us, please do get us on our social medias. We'll be much more active on them this year. That's Twitter and Instagram at cinema_savvy, Facebook and letterboxd.com/cinemasavvy, and a link to, not Letterboxd in the description, there is a link to Letterboxd in the description, but also to Rebel to help support the channel with any merch. So I'm going to round out, I'm going to edit this, get some sleep, and hope you enjoy it. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.